And happy Friday. We're back with Smoking the Spread podcast. This is Wells True on the bottom of the screen here.
What
The
up?
Truth. To my right, you have Philip the Wonder, or Phil the Wonder, the stat genius. And then you've got Goofball Lemons here in the middle. So we're going to get started. I've said one too many times. We're going to run through the bracket of what we've got tomorrow, tell you what we're going to bet on, what we're going to stay away from, what can make us some money, and hopefully we'll all get rich in the process. Let's see. Gonzaga, Memphis, of course. Both decent games, I guess. Not too close for either one of those. Memphis, Boise State got close at the end, but really wasn't too much of a contest. Gonzaga, Georgia State, on the other hand, first half, had me a little worried. But basketball is a two-half sport, so Gonzaga moved on to the next round. Phil, do you want to give us what Vegas has these odds set at?
Yeah, so going to be a very athletic game. Right now, the over and under is set at 154.5, with the line going minus 10.5 to Gonzaga. I'm going to take the over in this game. With how the first two games played out, with the up and down tempo, the point score, the transitional aspect that Penny as well as Coach Few is going to have as well, I'm taking the over. I think Gonzaga is going to win this. I'm probably not going to touch that spread, but I will take that over at 154.5. Let's get ready for another great game of March.
What was that spread again?
10.5. Gonzaga minus 10.5.
Big spread. Wells, what do you think about that spread?
Courtesy of DraftKings as of 8:30 Central.
Thank you, DraftKings.
Thank you, DraftKings. Thank you, Phil. I'm going to say I'm taking Gonzaga outright, but I do think Memphis covers, and I will take the over on that one, like Phil said. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I always like seeing Memphis play, but it's always a great day when they lose, too. So, let's go Zags.
You heard it here. Wells, not a Memphis fan, thinks they can cover and is going to take Gonzaga outright. I don't know if that line's worth me taking the Zags money line. I'm iffy on the Memphis spread, but both teams can shoot the ball. That's about all I think Memphis does well. They can pass and shoot, but they're such a young team. I'm not great with the NCAA fundamentals yet. Penny hasn't been their coach for that long up to this point, but they got recruited and they were 5 stars for a reason. I'm expecting a shootout, so I as well am going to ride that over with Philip. Any last thoughts on Gonzaga Memphis, boys, before we move on?
Life's too short to bet the under.
Thank you, Barstool Big Cat. Great quote. All right. New Mexico State, they did it. One of our two 12-5 upsets on the first day. Arkansas had a tough matchup in Vermont, but they won. I can't say they played poorly or anything like that. They scored 75 points. Vermont is a good team. A lot of people had Vermont upsetting Arkansas. This guy. Phil, what's Vegas got this one set at?
That was a fantastic game, too. We talked about it the other day. It ends up going 75-71 to Arkansas. Catamounts, they had their opportunity. But ultimately, athleticism of Arkansas paid forward. They'll be moving on. They are facing New Mexico. Congrats to New Mexico. That Allen cat put up 37. For those underdogs to get to this spot right now and further, they got to have their stars step up in a big way and perform. They had that happen. So they get to face Arkansas now with the 12 versus 4 matchup. The line's only minus 6.5. If you feel confident in New Mexico and you think they can hammer that back down, knowing that Arkansas really banks on a lot of transitional points, then go ahead and take that cover with New Mexico State. If they play like they did the other night, I'm all for it. Just given the fact that UConn, the team that they face, is a much better defense than Arkansas. So I do like the New Mexico State cover here. The over-under is only sitting at 138.5. That's fairly average when you start talking about these round of 32 games. So I'll probably let your heart desire take that one. I'm going to pick Arkansas for the win. I don't think New Mexico State gets it done twice in a row. But it's going to be another good game, and I'm going to take New Mexico State on the spread to cover.
I like that. Wells, are you rooting for the Aggies and the underdog again? Or are you on Eric Musselman's train and you think Arkansas has got a chance to run this tourney?
I'm going with the Hogs, baby. Let's go Hogs. I think they're going to win outright, and I'm going to take the over. You got to bet the over these days. It's a lot more fun to watch.
It is. The over is a lot more fun to watch.
Points, baby. Let's see some points.
I like that analysis. I, too, am on the Arkansas train. I'm going to stay away from that spread. I'm going to bet the over. I think Eric Musselman gets his team ready to play. I always do. Look what he did last year in the tournament. What he did in February in SEC regular season play. I like the over. I think Arkansas scores enough points, and I think New Mexico State has enough firepower to get it done.
That'll be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, do we want to talk about how disappointing UConn was? Or was this just it was just like fate to happen in the NCAA tournament? Because UConn really disappointed.
They were up and down. That defense just did so well all year, carrying them to a nationally ranked team to finish the season. It was on the heels of that Allen cat. He just went off, and they had no answer. And so when it got close down there at the end, even though it ended up being a 7-point game for New Mexico State, they made their free throws, and they get to advance. They outplayed them. Plain and simple.
They did. Wells, any thoughts on UConn shit in the bed?
Disappointment, but I did have UConn losing, so I was excited. I was hyped for that. So
Hey.
go to Mexico State, baby.
Money. That's what you're here for, Wells. Fantasy
Give me that
and analysis.
money, baby.
Oh,
I think you got that Georgia State cover on Gonzaga too. You had a
did.
good day betting yesterday.
Very smart
sir.
bet there, Wells. Right on the hook too. Right on the hook.
Right on the hook.
Next one, the Catholics versus Texas Tech. Notre Dame and the Red Raiders. I am high on the Red Raiders, at least at this part of the bracket. I did not expect Alabama to not put up a fight. I know that, it was a 16-point game. It felt more like a 30-point game. I didn't think Alabama would really ever felt like they were there or were in it. I've got Texas Tech moving on this one, but this isn't a tournament preview. This is a betting preview. What's up? Vegas got these odds set at.
So you saw why and why Texas Tech's going to be a favorite in a lot of people's brackets, holding their opponent to 62, but yet scoring 97. I believe that was best for, as of this point, with a few more games still left to play, the most points scored. Wasn't the biggest deficit, but most points scored. They did what they did best. They still played defense, kept opponents under 65, which is something you're going to have to do in this tournament while you're still playing in that 70 range to win once you start playing these better teams. I don't see Notre Dame, after doing playing the play-in game, then playing the up and down that Alabama plays, that they can do 3 in a row on such a short turnaround. When you have to sit there and you've got to break down, and Texas Tech works that shot clock, 15, 19, 20 some odd seconds in, you're going to get tired. And if they can score like they did the other night, it's no match. Right now, the line is sitting at 7 towards Texas Tech, the over-under at 133. The only way Notre Dame even has a shot is if they slow it down themselves. Don't really see it happening. I'm going to take the over. I'm taking Texas Tech again with the points, and they're going to punch their ticket to the Sweet 16 in some pretty solid fashion, looking like one of the teams to beat.
All right, Wells, I'm going to read you some stats here,
Let's hear it.
and I want you to tell me what you think. All right?
All right. Let's do it, boys.
All right, these are these last two teams' previous games, so Texas Tech and Notre Dame. Actually, throughout the tournament season, so it's counting conference, tournament, and games played up to this point. Texas Tech, 70% free throw shooting. Notre Dame, 75% free throw shooting.
Ooh.
Total rebounds, we're dead even. We got 33.5 for Texas Tech per game, and we're looking at about 32.9 per game for Notre Dame. This is the stat that jumped out to me. Offensive rebounds, 10.6 per game. Texas Tech, 7.2 for Notre Dame. All right, well, with that matchup, knowing what they've done over the last month, are you riding with Phil? Do you think Texas Tech Red Raiders are going to get the job done?
The Red Raiders going to get the job done, boys. They're going to shoot that, but even though the free throw percentage is in Notre Dame's favor, 70% is pretty good, and I think they're going to get the W because I think Notre Dame's going to be exhausted from playing the playing game, like Phil said, and they played Alabama, who just runs up down the court all day. So Texas Tech, and I'm going to take them covering the spread as well, and I'm going to take the over. Let's go Red Raiders, baby!
Yep, I agree. I'm riding with Texas Tech on this one. I think they can cover as well. Just looking at some more of these stats here, I mean, they create almost 14 turnovers a game to the 9.5 to Notre Dame. And then they steal the ball a lot. I mean, they're averaging 8 to 10 steals a game. I don't think Notre Dame will be able to keep up with the Red Raiders once they get rolling. I'm taking the Red Raiders, and I'm taking the spread.
So I have the Red Raiders going far, so they better win. I'd be highly upset.
I have them pretty deep into my bracket as well. We'll move on, though, to the next one. This is a matchup everybody's been waiting for us to talk about, right? Baylor,
Yes, sir.
North Carolina. I know Phil here has North Carolina running through his bracket. The Tar Heels, that powdered or sky blue, whatever you want to call it, looks good in March. It looks good in March.
Beautiful, boys.
But Baylor has got business up front and party in the back, and they are ready to get this thing done. Just based on looks, we'll go to Wells first on this one. Based on looks, the eye test, Wells, who do you think moves on? And if you were a betting man, who are you throwing your money on?
I'm throwing my money on Baylor, dog. They're going to get the job done. I'm taking them outright. I don't know what the spread is, so I can't comment on that. But I'm going to take the over anyway because I want to see some points. But North Carolina Powder Blues are beautiful. One of the best basketball jerseys in March and all year. But they're not going to get it done today, boys. Let's go, Baylor.
Phil, what's Vegas saying?
So, yeah, I agree with the uniforms. Some of the best uniforms, your classics, whether it's the white with the baby blue or the Carolina blue, lettering, or the Carolina blue with the white trim. Fantastic. Doesn't matter what they're going to bring to the court. I love Carolina. They're one of the hotter teams coming in to this tournament. They proved that yet again, putting up 95 points as a 9 seed, straight embarrassing Marquette. I think they held Marquette to 63 points. It was never even close. An absolute embarrassment when you're talking about that 9-8 matchup that we talk about being great games and what we had all day and today. That being said, Baylor put up in the 80s, held their team under 50. I don't care who you're playing. You have a team under 50, you're doing something right? The Vegas right now has Baylor at -5. I have North Carolina making a run in this tournament. I believe I've got them as one. I'm actually my Final Four team coming out of this side of the bracket, so I'm going to stay with what I feel, and I'm playing the hot hand. North Carolina. I will go North Carolina with the points. If the money line's a little higher than plus 120 or something like that, I'm throwing some cash on the money line. The over-under is expecting a great game. Vegas thinks 149, so I'm with Wells on this one. Expect a shootout. Expect a good scoring game. This one's going to be fun. But let's go Tar Heels. Let's keep moving forward.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the best matchups of tomorrow. Starting at 11:10 Eastern time. No, Central time. Central time. So we got 11 a.m. Central time. Early ball game for you folks over there on the East Coast tomorrow. I'm just going to throw out some stats here. I know we're running a little over with some of these games, but this one's interesting to me because this is a head-to-head battle. Both of these teams are very similar. North Carolina is not as highly regarded this year because they started off slow. Didn't win all of the games at the beginning of the season that they should have. But let's not kid ourselves. Their coach knows what he's doing. He's probably was behind Roy there forever before he took the reins here. If he wasn't, I'll sound like an idiot when people watch this, but I'm almost positive he was just an assistant.
First-year coach.
Yeah, he's a first-year coach, but he's been at North Carolina for a hot minute before he took over. Listen to this. Baylor's way better at defense, creating more steals, creating more turnovers. They wreak havoc on the defensive side, but North Carolina rebounds the ball a hell of a lot more than Baylor does, offensively and defensively. Almost by 10 plus more rebounds per game. I don't know how many shots North Carolina is going to get off. I don't know how many shots Baylor is going to get off. But if it is going to be a shootout, there's going to be a lot of rebounds. That might be a telltale there. I'm going to take Baylor. I think their defense is just going to keep the young North Carolina offense from doing everything they want to. But I'm also taking that over. I like a high over. Give it to me. I want to see a shootout. But we'll move on to the next one. I didn't mean to spend that much time there. Let's go St. Mary's UCLA, a 5-4. Of 5-4. St. Mary's, remember, did beat Gonzaga at one point this year. UCLA, again, highly regarded team throughout lots of the seasons. Had a few disappointing losses, but, I mean, they don't have very many losses. To begin with, they're a 4 seed for a reason. Phil, let's go to Vegas first on this one.
Looked very good in their home opener, the Gales of St. Mary's. I mean, Indiana's played so many games in a row talking about running that through that tournament, what they had to do to even get to this point. And they just looked exhausted. Couldn't really get anything going, and St. Mary's just did what they did, and that's play fundamentally sound basketball from start to finish. That being said, UCLA, who was ranked highly in the beginning of the year, people kind of forgot, Pac-12 after dark kind of scenario when you're talking about Central and Eastern time zones. They are favored. I believe it's, 2.5 in this game. The over-under is very low, 126. So they expect this to be a very slow pace. I mean, heck, that's, 64 to 62 to hit the under right there by the hook. So it's very hard for me to think that's going to work, but you watch some of your games earlier today, Illinois and Chattanooga, 54 to 53. Anything can happen. Whenever it's in the 120s, the mid 120s, I just want to bet the over just because. I mean, come on, let's score some. I'm going to bet the over. I probably will not touch the points just because I think St. Mary's can win this game outright. So give me the over, and let's get another great game in March. So come on.
I agree. Wells, before I kick it over to you, I'm going to read off some of these. Both teams like to foul, 16-plus fouls a game for the most part. Over the last few months, St. Mary's is down to about 15.6, 15.8 in some occasions, but we're looking 16-plus fouls almost every game. Both teams turn it over on average 9-plus times, with St. Mary's a little over 11.5. And so points come from turnovers, and neither one of these teams can block. Just terrible blocking stats. So I expect some shots to go in. With that being said, I like the over as well. Wells, what's your eye test see with the Bruins versus the St. Mary's? Is it the Gales?
Gales, baby.
The Gales are going to get the W, boys. I am calling it right now. I'm going to say St. Mary's outright and over. I'm feeling a little risky. Why don't I just take the cover as well? Let's go Gills, baby, or whatever they are. St. Mary's going to get the W.
They can be the Gills. Who cares, man?
Right. Who cares?
Blue and the Gills? Nah, St. Mary's going to win.
These teams are pretty much identical from the three-point line. They like to shoot Jays. Both teams shooting 35% from three over the last month, and both teams shooting right around 45.5% from the field. So this should be a very even matchup. Lots of points I'm expecting. Let's give it up for the Gales. The Gales deserve to be here. The Bruins hung around all year. Who wins in a fight? I mean, jail, like cage match, like jail rules. A Gale versus a Bruin.
What is a Gale?
I believe it's some kind of angel. I'm not.
It's got wings.
It
well, tell them to fly down here and give me some better light.
I think it has wings. Do you guys want me? I don't know if I can pull one up now. Let me find a Gale.
While he's doing that,
what is a Gale?
We'll say while he's doing that, we were talking about games earlier today on what was going to finish, and we've got Duke in that Western bracket as well. And the winner's going to be Michigan State or Davidson. I'll go ahead and throw out some lines while we're talking to this. I projected. I'm not a bookie. I don't know any of that crap. I typically waste more of the money that I make on the betting side. But if Michigan State wins, I expect the over-under to be around, I'd probably say 139.5 with minus 6.5 going to Duke. Davidson wins, we're probably looking like -9.5 to Duke, with the over/under being about $1.42 even. Gonna be a fun matchup tonight to watch that. And if it's Izzo or Davidson versus Duke the next day, or that would be Sunday. God, I love March. But Will, what do we got on the Gale side?
Oh, you're gonna be. I quite haven't figured out what a Gale is. I could be an idiot. I could get shamed or canceled on the internet for this. I'm thinking it's some type of.
Hey, get canceled before you start. Let's go.
I'm thinking it's some type of Native American. Could be completely wrong. Because the Iona Gales looks like a small Irishman. Their mascot does, but the Iona or the St. Mary's Gales is a big buff dude with long black hair, kind of looking like Fabio.
I'm going to go with Angel, right? I'm going to go with Angel.
Yeah, maybe Angel.
Is that a sash?
Something, yeah, he did have a sash. Anyway, just off looks, I'm going Bruins on this one. Plus, I have them moving for my bracket, so I'm taking Bruins and I'm taking the over. Any last thoughts on the Gales versus the Bruins before we move on?
Bruins are going to win in a fight for sure.
Okay.
We settled it, yeah.
Yeah, we did. We settled that. And the round of 32 is yet to disappoint because we're moving on to the Texas Longhorns, y'all, versus the Purdue Boilermakers. Horns down from 2 of the 3 hosts here. I'll go ahead and give my horns down too because if I want to win some money, I need Purdue to move on into the Final Four. Phil, what's Purdue look like matched up against Texas with Vegas?
Well, look, I wanted Virginia Tech to beat Texas so that this next game will be a little bit easier for me to pick Purdue. Right now, they're sitting on a -3.5 line. Purdue can win. They've done it all year. Texas has been pretty inconsistent throughout the year. They lose some games they shouldn't lose to, but then they'll rise to the occasion on some of those bigger games in the Big 12. The over-under sitting at 133. We know Purdue can kind of control pace, but they can also score. I look for the over to hit, but man, I don't know if I want to pick Texas outright, so I'll probably just watch the game, bet the over so I can cheer for points. But with Purdue -3.5, go with what your bracket says. And, let's bet for some points. It's a good game.
Good bet for some points. Wells, Texas, Purdue.
I'm going to go Texas. I think they'll get the W because I had Kentucky and Virginia Tech win their game, so my bracket's messed up right there. So let's go Horns. I'm going to still say hook them down because I'm not a fan of Texas, but
you just gave the Atlanta piece down side. You didn't do the horns down. Well,
piece up, 8 pound down.
There we go, baby. There we go. My bad.
Welcome Matt Olson to the A, my guy. Let's go.
Let's go, Braves.
Baseball
baby.
Coming soon. Baseball coming
Yes,
soon.
sir.
We'll do a whole fucking SEC baseball breakdown. I know Ole Miss got the first SEC baseball win of the regular SEC season today. Congratulations, Rebels.
Yesterday, because we were the only ones playing.
Yesterday.
Oh, hotty toddy.
Today, I believe.
Hotty toddy. Okay, on to the next one. Murray State at... might as well be God himself, St. Peter's. This is one I'm gonna have to apologize for a couple from our bracket preview videos, but I said St. Peter couldn't shoot a J, and they did the exact opposite of that. They did nothing but shoot J's all goddamn night. Just embarrassed the living shit out of Kentucky. Kentucky couldn't stop it. Kentucky looked tired. I'm not going to talk about Kentucky any further because they don't deserve my attention. They didn't deserve that 2 seed. I'm going to move it on over to Phil and see if Vegas has any hopes for the old Peacocks in St. Peter's to do it again.
So I couldn't help but I had Kentucky moving on at least 2 wins in my bracket. I found myself just not even being able to cheer for them during that game. I'm standing up holding a beer in front of the TV going insane because that game was so much fun to watch. Let's go Peacocks. That reminded me of Lehigh over Duke. I think there was a 15 that beat a 2 last year too. Or the last time the tournament played.
I think it's 10 times ever now.
I remembered Lehigh and Duke, but there was one previously that was more recent than that.
Oh, we had we had a 16-over-1. We had a 16-over-1 with
that was UMBC over Virginia.
Yeah, Maryville,
that was 2019.
Maryland College.
Maryland, Baltimore County.
Yeah, that's it.
All that. Now, I digress. Congrats, St. Peter's. Go Peacocks. Like, celebrate. Do what you got to do. You know, but minus 8.5 going to Murray State and the Racers, which was a fantastic game against the Dons in San Francisco, like we talked about. Over-unders at 130. I don't know. I don't know what to think about St. Peter's. I mean, do they have enough in the tank to,
they
to
do.
go to
I believe in them.
I mean, do they, or are they going to ride the high? I mean, that was essentially their biggest win ever. I'm going to take. You know what? I'm going to switch on what I was going to say. I'm going to have St. Peter's cover the minus 8.5. I'm going to bet the over. I'll probably same game parlay it because I'm absolutely going to sit down and watch this game. I think a lot of people in this country are going to do that because everyone loves a good underdog story, and that's what St. Peter's is. Let's just ride this thing till it's over and enjoy it.
Wells, any thoughts?
The Peacock's gonna win, dude. I'm calling it right now. The Cocks are gonna get the W. What'd you say the over was?
130 even.
Oh, 60 and 70. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the over. That's very doable considering Murray State had 92 and the Peacocks had 85. Like, yeah, so I'm going with the over as well. And the Peacocks outright.
Overtime for the Peacocks, but still 85 against Kentucky's. You're not going to be playing.
That's a lot of points.
Can Doug Ebert do it again?
Who knows now?
He can do it again. Yes, he can.
Is it Doug Ebert? Is that who Mustache Boy was? I think
You know what? I had shaved all week, and I don't really grow facial hair very well. That doesn't look like Joe Dirt.
I mean,
I'm Team Ebert. Let's go.
Let's go, Mr. Ebert. Let's put some more J's up. I think I'm gonna.
J's, baby.
I'm shying away from. This one. Especially on the St. Peter's end, because St. Peter's could be hot and keep it close to Murray State, but Murray State has athletes. Murray State has a coach, and Murray State's here to make a statement. I don't think they're going to let a 15 seed get in the way of them playing Purdue or Texas in the next round. I think they want that exposure. I don't see St. Peter's getting in Murray State's way. I think Kentucky was a little banged up. I think Kentucky was looking past St. Peter's, and I think St. Peter's shot very well last night. We'll break this down real quick. St. Peter's shot 35% from three last night, 45% from the field, was 68.5% from the free throw line.
They can do better.
And they could be better. If you look at the stats, Kentucky won this. If you didn't watch the game, you didn't know the final score, you would have thought Kentucky blew them out of the water for the most part. Until it comes to defense, three blocks more than Kentucky had last night at 5. Kentucky had 2, and then they stole the ball 8 times.
What was the turnover margin?
Turnovers. They had they created 13.5 turnovers last night.
And a half. What's the half?
I don't know. The stat just gives me 13.5. And they got fouled 19.6 times last night. So Kentucky gave them quite a few points at that stripe, and although you said their free throw percentage could have been better, it looks like they took advantage of what Kentucky gave them. We'll move on, though. I digress. Over to the other side of the bracket. We're going to go up here. Arizona looks to we don't know what Seton Hall TCU looks like yet. We know Illinois moved on. Houston UAB is still going on right now. So apologies for skipping over these if you were hoping to make some big money on these Sunday. But we're going to move on into one close to home here. Wells, what did you see in that Tennessee-Longwood game that gave you hope for this next round?
Vols were on fire, dude. They were hitting all their shots, basically. I know that they missed a few, but they were lights out. I'm going to say the Vols get the W outright.
Over Michigan.
I'm a big 100%, dude. The Vols, I got them advancing in my bracket, and I just feel like the eye test, they played better than Michigan, to be honest.
I agree. Although Michigan won by a decent margin there, again, I apologize. I didn't announce that out straight. This is Tennessee, Michigan. We're talking about a little Tennessee homers here. I got a little ahead of myself.
Homers.
I'm a homer.
Homers.
I'm a East Tennessee tire, baby. We are You seen that TikTok video? I'm from East Tennessee, and this is how I say things.
I'm from Mississippi.
Yeah, I've
so it
seen
didn't
If
get
you hadn't
better
seen
mouth.
it, I recommend watching it. They're pretty funny. But I'll digress again. I didn't think Michigan looked impressive over Colorado State, but to be fair, I had Colorado State winning that game, so I guess I can't call it not impressive. I think a few foul calls kind of changed the tide of that game. I don't know. Tennessee dominated Longwood, but Longwood wasn't Colorado State, so it's kind of hard to put 1 and 2 together here. Tennessee has some revenge out. If you know the history of the tournament and the history of Tennessee, Michigan, in basketball, Tennessee wants this win pretty bad. I think Michigan wants to stay on top of that series because Michigan's kind of owned it over the last few years. But I think this Tennessee team has the oomph to go all the way, past the Final Four, into the Final Two, and even onto that podium. So I'm gonna take Tennessee outright here, but I want Phil to give us some stats before I dive into the spread.
No, and Michigan, entered the tournament at 17 and 14. Tennessee, arguably one of the hottest teams in the nation right now. They've got a shot to really go deep in this tournament. I'm not a homer.
Will you adjust your mic?
Guys. Do what?
Your mic's giving us some static.
How we doing now?
That's
A
better.
little better.
So, Michigan 17 and 14, entering the tournaments. Took a lot to even get to this point. Not really sure they even deserved an at-large bid. Colorado State, part of a very solid Mountain West. I picked Michigan in this game just because of their down-low presence. I thought their point guard was going to play, but their point guard was on concussion protocol. They still pulled it out, even though Colorado State was up big in that first half. Tennessee coming in as one of the hottest teams in the country right now, so it's no surprise that they can and probably will make a pretty good run in this tournament. I'm not a homer like these two guys, being from Mississippi. Just like baseball, Omaha stands for Ole Miss at home again. We're not in the dance, so we'll figure something out someday. Lines -6 Tennessee. Over-unders 136. I'm not sure Michigan has the firepower if their point guard doesn't come back to really keep up with what Tennessee can do through Kennedy, Chandler, and Fulkerson down low. I don't think Fulkerson goes off like he did against Michigan as he did Longwood. Just it's a different presence down low that Michigan has. I know we talked about life's too short to bet the under. I am taking the under at 136 here. I think Michigan is held more in that high 50, low 60 range, where Tennessee and Michigan will slow this tempo down. But that being said, I will take Michigan with the points. Probably going to be scoring is a stretch for this game. But when you're talking high-flying offenses going back-to-back, I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I'm still taking Tennessee in the under.
See, I like that. I like that analysis there. I will have a little combative to you, though. Tennessee is shooting better than they've ever have in the history of the program, if I remember correctly.
History of ever.
I honestly could be wrong, but we're shooting a little over 42.5% from three since the start of February. Santiago Vescovi. I'm sorry,
He had his
Santiago.
103 last night.
He
dude.
is on fire from that three-point range, and Kennedy Chandler looks like a dog. But Michigan has size. Michigan is big. We'll see who prevails. Tennessee's defense is pretty hot. But again, I'm a homer. Skip over this one because this is totally biased if you're actually putting money down following me. But I do legitimately think for the first time in my life, outside of that 2009, 2010 year, Tennessee has a chance to go all the way. But anyway, I digress. I'll get off my homerism. Wells, you want to give one last Rocky Top for Tennessee before we move on?
EBO, baby, let's go. I'm taking the under because I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But the ball's going to prevail. Let's go, balls, baby. GBO.
The under seems like a great play, but I can't stand the fact that I'd be rooting for no more points with my own team on the television screen. So
It's true.
we'll move on. A team that I think has been a little wishy-washy this season, up and down in the Big Ten, Ohio State versus a solid Villanova team so far. Like I said in the preview, Jay Wright wears a suit and he wears it damn good. Ohio State is a team that I really don't have much care for. They've had some great basketball in the past this year. I feel like they could have played a little bit better, but the Big Ten was tough. Phil, I want to go to Vegas first on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, it's almost like in that Ohio State Loyola game that they caught Sister Jean eating chicken on Friday during Lent. Just Ohio State got it done. Ugly kind of game, but they came out on top. So sorry, Sister Jean. Ohio State right now is not the favorite here. Villanova is -5. The over/under sitting at 132. Villanova did what they did best. Mid-range jumpers and threes, and they were tickling the twine all night. I don't see Ohio State. If Liddell's not scoring, they're not scoring. So I don't see them keeping up with Villanova, especially if Villanova shoots the ball like they did. I'm absolutely going to take Villanova -5 here, and I'm taking the over. I'm looking for that 73-63 kind of game to just edge out that over. But Villanova, I think, wins by 8 or 9 in this one. So give me the over. Give me Villanova -5, and let's watch some threes, baby.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like Villanova in this one.
Baby.
I think they're the faster team. Just looking over some stats before we throw it to the eye test, and Wells the true down there. Ohio State will out-rebound them if the stats are true. Ohio State, big rebounding team. Defensively, offensively, they block the ball more. Ohio State just seems to swarm the ball on shots, which could be a good matchup against Villanova because Villanova likes to take quick shots. Just looking at it, they block the ball a lot. Both teams turn the ball over about 11 times a game. Not fair to say. Villanova's 10.1 times a game, so about 10 to 11 there. And then both teams foul about 16 times a game. I mean, no real difference there. Stats are close. Technically, Ohio State's shooting better over the last month. But we all know Villanova's the hotter team right now. They're a 2 seed for a reason. Wells, just based on the eye test, have you seen these two teams play yet this year? And if not, who do you think will win just based on logos or colors here?
I have not watched the Ohio State game. Screw Ohio State, dude. But I will say go Villanova because of the 2 seed, and I've watched a few of their games, and it's like the better team overall from what I've seen and heard on ESPN and whatnot. So let's go Villanova.
Hey, ESPN, what you hear on the internet, sometimes the truth. Jay Wright, fellow Sigma Chi there, and Hope Jay Wright. If you ever come across this, I'd love to have you on. But anyway, moving on to the next one.
And Hope, baby.
I'm taking Villanova, and I'm taking the points. I think Villanova covers the spread. Next one, before we get into it, just based on mascots here, we've got Creighton Blue Jays, Kansas Jayhawks. Which bird wins in that pecking fight?
Blue Jays. All day, every day.
Blue Jays are known to be mean sons of bitches. Mean sons of bitches. Yeah.
That's what you have to be when you're in a fight, dude. You have to be mean, tough, and just angry. I feel like the Blue Jays are angry.
Yeah, Phil, well, you've been giving some good insight. What should my dumb ass throw money on this one? Because this is a game I'm definitely watching, and I'm definitely going to need some incentives to keep going.
Yeah, and this is actually one of the games that I was planning to kind of stay away from. Excuse me. I'm staying away from.
Hey.
Here are the lines, though. You got Kansas -11.5. The over/under sitting at 139.5. If you watch the Creighton San Diego State game, San Diego State just had to make a free throw, make the front end of a 1-and-1. It's 7 seconds left, and you probably win that game. And we're not even talking about Creighton. We're talking about the defense of San Diego State versus the athleticism of Kansas. Instead, Creighton pushes it to overtime and they advance. It's March, baby. I don't think Creighton's going to have that same magic. You face someone with a very, very good defense. Some would say tops in this tournament. And then you have to turn around and play a top seed Kansas that is going to stretch the floor and be way more athletic overall, top to bottom, than that San Diego State team. I will not bet on it. I told y'all the odds of it. I don't think Creighton can even. They could cover that.
They're going to cover.
It's a lot of points for a round of 32 matchup. But I have Kansas moving on either way. But yeah, bet to your heart's desire.
I like Kansas. Wells, we'll move on over here to you in just a second. I just based on the eye test, I think Kansas struggled on a few in and out games throughout this season. They just weren't together, weren't passing well. I don't know. Bill Self maybe had a bad morning. His hair didn't fall the right way, like we mentioned yesterday. Creighton's fast. I like how Creighton puts up points. They did well at home this year, but I think Kansas is on a heater right now, and I think Kansas is wanting to make a statement in this tournament, and they're not ready to go out in the round of 32. Wells, you like Kansas?
Yes, sir. Kansas will advance, but the Blue Jays are going to cover, boys. I have a feeling.
Wells likes to cover there. See, I'm going to fight you on that one. I'm going Jayhawks to cover. So
we'll see what happens.
Tune in. We'll see what happens.
Little friendly wager there. We're going to move on to the next one. And first, I need Wells to look up to Phil there and say, I told you so.
I told you the Richmond Spiders won't get the W, son. You got to listen,
I don't know
bro.
if you heard our insight, though, but I think we were all spot on that one. Now, where I owe you a beer is my Jackrabbits shit the bed. So I will buy you a beer on that one.
Right.
But, I'll let you have the stage here with your Richmond Spiders.
Yeah, Wells, did you watch that game? I know we put some money on it. Richmond showed out. Everyone. I work in an office, a sports office. We were all watching the game. I'm the only one in the back corner secretly rooting for Richmond. It ruined a lot of people's Final Fours. For some reason, I know Iowa has a good record. They didn't win the Big Ten, though. That was a share between Wisconsin and Illinois. Wasn't good enough to win the Big Ten. Why do people think they're good enough to move all the way into the Final Four? I don't know. Their basketball team reminds me of their football team. They are big old boys. They can play defense, and they can put the ball through the hoop, but they're not going to be more athletic, and they're not going to beat you speed-wise. I'm glad I took Richmond on that one, but I was very wrong on Providence as well. I called them frauds. I need to apologize. I looked right into this camera and I called the Friars frauds. Taylor Swift, I apologize to you. You were the official hype woman of the Providence Friars this year. Have you guys seen those videos? Yet?
No need.
Providence has been selling out their home basketball games, and right before every win, or if they're down some points, they just throw Taylor Swift on, and the entire arena goes fucking nuts. And look at what their record was this year. Taylor Swift, the angel looking over the Friars this year. I apologize, and unfortunately, Richmond, I think you burned out your energy. I don't think you have it in you to go back to back, and I can't go against Friars again. Wells, are you still pulling for the Spiders?
I'm pulling for the Spiders. The Spiders are going to get the W, boys. I have a feeling. They were playing hot yesterday, and they're going to continue playing hot tomorrow, and they're going to win.
Yeah, the line's -3 to Providence here. The over-under at 134. If you look at both these teams' games when they played, Richmond, we know Iowa's not the sexiest team like we talked about. Richmond put up 67. Providence put up 66. I mean, you're right there on that over-under, so I'm probably not going to touch that at all. Guilty with what I'm about to say here. I picked South Dakota State to make it to the Sweet 16. I know they were the trendy pick.
Defend yourself.
Well, now I'm in the boat where I'm going to root for Richmond to make sure that Providence doesn't advance. So if you want to go, the antithesis of what I'm doing, pick Providence and the points and the Friars to move on. They are 12. I think they were 12-2 in the regular season with games settled by 2 or 3 points or less. So we could very well have another close one on our hands. Providence and the points.
Yep, I'm taking Providence and the points as well. Wells is on the Spiders. We'll see what happens.
Yes, sir. Spiders all day.
All right, to wrap this baby up, another fantastic matchup. I think that Miami could probably be a little higher than a 10 seed anyway, but we got Miami at Auburn. Auburn may have scared a few people today. They didn't really scare me. I knew they would turn it on. I knew Jabari Smith would get the ball in his hands, and it's Bruce Pearl. He's not going down without a fight to Jacksonville State. Although, do you guys want to know a fun fact about Jacksonville State and Bruce Pearl?
Let's hear it.
Jacksonville State all time against Bruce Pearl is 13-3.
Ooh, I bet he feels great.
After today, they're 13-4. After today, they're 13-4. Bruce Pearl didn't get scared. He turned it on in the second half and just absolutely ran through that Jacksonville State. Are they the Rattlers? No.
Dolphins?
I don't know the Jacksonville State.
I have no idea.
I would be lying to you if I told you. Let's see. They are the Gamecocks. I apologize. That's the Florida A&M Rattlers. Got those two mixed up.
Fantastic band, by the way.
Yeah, fantastic band. We'll move on. Miami, impressive win over USC by 2 whole points. And I say impressive because I thought USC was going to handle that and cover that 2-point spread easily. Lost a little money on that. Today, I did win some money on Auburn, though, thank God. What do you have, Phil, matchup-wise for us, Auburn versus Miami?
Auburn is getting the points at -7.5. The over/under 144.5. Auburn's one of those teams, almost kind of like Kentucky, where you can believe in them when they're on, but when they're off, you wonder how they got ranked so high. If their offense doesn't go through their 2 key guards right there, it could suffer. Miami right now is playing close games, and they're winning. I had USC. I thought the size would end up prevailing ultimately against Miami. I'm not going to take the points in this. I do think Auburn moves on, and I think that'll be the last game that they win in this tournament. But my second under of the night, I'm going to take the under at 144.5.
144.5, huh? Wells, with Auburn putting up 80 last game and Miami putting up 68. Do you think that under is a smart play?
I'm going with the over. Auburn's going to advance, and Miami is going to cover this game right here, boys. That's what I'm calling right now.
Well, same game parlay. Wells, nice.
Yes,
I like Auburn. I think Auburn's getting hot at the right time, and we saw that they went damn near the entire season without losing there up until about the last few weeks. I think they have what it takes to make a run. Jabari Smith, I believe, should be the number 1 overall lottery pick. I have an SEC bias to me, but I really like the size and strength. I do think he's a little bit of a dickhead on the court. But outside of that, I think he's a fantastic ball player. Fun game we're going to play here to end this off. We're going to put together a get-rich-quick scheme. Everybody give me their money-making pick, whether it's a spread, a cover, an over. Ask Phil to run back those lines for you if you don't remember one. But we're all going to make a bet or pick our best practice play of the day. And I'm going to throw money on it and see if all 3 brains together can make some money. Wells, out of what we just discussed, you want to give me what you think your lock of the day to add to our get-rich-quick parlay would be?
Vols going to get the W, boys. I have faith in them.
Vols
outright.
Outright Vols money line. Phil?
Sir.
You want to give us a leg?
I got you a parlay. I'm going to go North Carolina money line.
Okay.
I'm going to go Texas Tech points. That's -7. And then go ahead and give me the under 144 Auburn Miami.
All right, so we got right now we're up to a Tennessee outright win, an Auburn Miami under, Texas Tech points -7, and what was that first one, Phil?
The North Carolina money line against the 1 seed. That's going to boost those odds, buddy.
We like a North Carolina money line against a 1 seed, and I am going to throw in there. Hold on. I highlighted it earlier. It's on the first side of the bracket.
Some good ones on that side.
I like a Texas Purdue under. Texas has like the 3rd ranked defense in the nation. Purdue doesn't play well, in my opinion, back-to-back days. I know they've had 1 day rest, but their big boy's got big legs, and he needs some recovery time. Although I have Purdue advancing into the next round, I think that'll be more of a low-scoring game. Who kind of comes out gritty on top. So I'm taking the under in the Texas-Purdue game. So we're going to run those back. I got under in Texas-Purdue game. We've got North Carolina money line advancing against a 1 seed. We have the Auburn Miami under, and we have Texas Tech -7. And to round it out, the best pick of the day, the automatic lock, the Tennessee Volunteers money line over Michigan. Lock that in. I'll throw it in the notes, and I'll also make sure that you guys can see those picks afterwards. Look at the description below if you want to see what picks we made today. I'm going to throw our parlay in the description below anyway. Like and subscribe. Show it to your mom. Show it to your girlfriend. Show it to your dog. Just play this
Or
thing
your boyfriend.
a couple of times. Yeah, your boyfriend too. Just make sure the video runs all the way through. Like and subscribe. Unsubscribe and resubscribe. Boys, we're up to 4 subscribers and a little over 62 views.
Let's go,
I'll
boys.
let you know, guys, too, if we do a lot of sports right now. We're doing the tournament. That's the hot commodity. If there's something you want to hear talked about or done in the sports realm, or even breaking in some reality or what's happening in current events, drop a like, drop a subscribe, let us know. We talk. It's what we like to do, and we love to hear from you guys.
I'm there. I am about to head out here, boys. Any final thoughts, Wells, before I go eat some fettuccine Alfredo with Pat Parisi down the street?
Holla at your boy, Wells True on IG, boys.
Oh, Phill the Wonder and my dog signing off.
Lemons here. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See y'all.
Good shit, boys. Phill, you have a great night. I know what's ahead for you.
Fuck yeah. I'm about to do that.